Hello? Hello?
Oi.
Hello, hello, hello?
Isso é intérprete de português por agora, tá bom?
Ma'am, is there any way you can speak up just a little bit? I can barely hear you.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me now better?
Yeah, that's better. Can you tell me your name or your ID number?
My name is Marcia, M-A-R-C-I-A. ID is 359307.
All right. Can you raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Yes, sir.
Do you solemnly swear you're translated from English to Portuguese and Portuguese to English to the best of your ability, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ma'am, I need your help with a case this morning. The case is 2021 CF 9624 AO. And I have a defendant at the lectern, and could you greet him and ask him to tell me his name?
O senhor poderia, por favor, dizer o seu nome?
A little bit louder. We're having
Me?
problems.
Elza.
No.
Ah, ok.
O senhor poderia dizer o seu nome?
É Ricardo Teixeira de Assis.
Ricardo Teixeira de Assis.
Sir, you're here this morning in case 2021 CF 9624 AO for two charges: aggravated battery on a pregnant person and battery domestic violence.
O senhor está aqui para um caso de 2021, CF 9621, por atentado à agressão a uma mulher grávida e violência doméstica.
I did review the charging affidavit in your case. I did find probable cause for your arrest.
E o senhor teve um pedido de prisão.
Madam Interpreter, I don't know if it's a connection or you just soft-spoken, but we can barely hear you inside the courtroom today.
Can you hear me better now, Your Honor?
Yeah, I can hear you better. It's just probably need to be like about one more, a little louder than that, so everybody can hear you.
Is it better now?
There we go. That's what we're looking for. Perfect.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir. All right, I have another witness. Can you ask her to tell me her name and to spell her last name?
Agora a testemunha pode dizer o nome completo e soletrar o primeiro nome.
Elza. E-L-Z-A. Rocha.
Elsa Rocha, which is first name spells E-L-Z as in zebra, A.
All right. Ma'am, could you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
A senhora poderia levantar a mão direita para jurar?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
A senhora promete solenemente dizer a verdade, apenas a verdade, nada mais que a verdade. Deus a abençoe.
Sim.
Ma'am, can you tell me how you know the defendant in this case?
A senhora pode me dizer como o conhece nesse caso?
Como aconteceu o caso que você quer perguntar?
How the case happened?
No, how do you know him? Like, is he your boyfriend, your husband?
Como a senhora o conhece? Ele é seu namorado, seu amigo, marido?
Sim, é quase um esposo. A gente vive na mesma casa. Ele é pai do meu filho.
Yes, almost husband. We live together. He is the father of my son.
All right. And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Enquanto esse caso está pendente, a senhora gostaria de ter contato com ele?
Sim.
Yes.
Are you the victim of the case he's on probation for?
A senhora é a vítima do caso onde ele está com liberdade condicional? A senhora é a vítima?
Não, não sou a vítima.
I'm not the victim.
All right. Are you aware of that case?
A senhora sabe do caso? Conhece o caso?
Sim, eu conheço. Ele me falou tudinho o que aconteceu.
Yes, I am aware. He told me everything that happened.
State, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. George?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, I'm going to set your bond in count 1 in amount of $5,000 and count 2, $500.
Senhor, eu vou colocar a sua fiança, então, do caso 1 de $5.000 e do caso 2 de $200.
Condition of your bond, you have no contact with the victim in this case.
Além da fiança, o senhor não poderá ter contato com a vítima desse caso.
You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim.
O senhor precisa manter uma residência separada da vítima.
I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location.
Eu vou te dar uma oportunidade de poder ir ao local, retirar alguns pertences do senhor.
You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release.
O senhor não pode obter nenhuma arma e nenhuma arma de fogo e o senhor precisa voltar em 24 horas depois da sua soltura.
Sorry. You're also not to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
O senhor também não pode fazer uso de drogas, bebidas alcoólicas e substâncias prescritas.
You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense.
O senhor vai fazer um teste de droga e álcool com o senhor paga do bolso.
Do you have any questions about your no contact order, sir?
O senhor tem alguma pergunta em relação a não ter contato?
Ela é minha esposa, é a mãe do meu filho. Ela quer ter contato comigo.
She's my wife and she's the mother of my son and she wants to have contact with me.
First of all, she's not your wife. You're not legally married to her. 2, I ordered you to have no contact with her. Do you understand my orders? Because if you violate them, you will be held for violation of my court orders.
E a ordem de não ter contato com ela.
Additionally, you're on probation in case 2020 MM 5508 for murder, battery, domestic violence.
E também temos o caso da sua liberdade condicional de 2020 em relação também à violência doméstica, o caso MM55.
The court finding probable cause you committed another domestic violence is going to find on-view violation of your probation. Going to set your bond in that case at $0.
Em caso de o senhor quebrar essa ordem preventiva, o senhor também vai perder a oportunidade de ter a fiança.
I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in all your cases.
Your Honor, I apologize, the call got cut a little bit.
No problem. I appointed the public defender to represent him in all his cases.
E eu indico para você o advogado que vai te ajudar em todos esses casos.
Have a great day, sir.
Tenha um bom dia.
Have a great day, ma'am.
Um bom dia para a senhora.
Thank you, Madam Interpreter.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for calling our services. You have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
Next one originally was set for Spanish, but she no longer needs it.
She or? Yeah. All right. Good morning. Cover your face, man. There we go. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Jacqueline
What's your last name?
Mantilla.
Ma'am, you're here in case 2021 CF 9605 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the battery on a person 65 years or older. Did review the charging affidavit in that case, did find probable cause for your arrest.
Your Honor, there's a victim present.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Hello, good morning.
Does he need the services?
You need to speak Spanish, please. I need interpreter.
One moment.
I am father de Jacqueline.
Hold on, 1 second. Give me un momento, por favor.
Father. He's my father.
I heard that. So,
Sorry. I'm sorry.
which one?
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Laura Bretaña, Spanish interpreter. The interpreter has already been sworn.
Mrs. Daniel, good morning. I have a victim. My first case involves a victim that needs your services. Because if you could stay on overhead for me, that would be awesome. And you said you're already sworn in?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. Can you greet him, my witness, and ask him to tell me his name?
Al testigo, por favor, buenos días, diga su nombre.
Mi nombre es Jeremías Mantilla, con J.
My name is Jeremías Mantilla.
And can you spell your last name for me?
Señor, por favor, deletree su apellido.
Mantilla, M-A-N-T-I-L-L y una A.
Mantilla, M-A-N-T-I-L-L-A.
Sir, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Señor, por favor, levante la mano derecha para prestar juramento.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Jura y promete que el testimonio que va a prestar será la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad. ¿Lo jura ante Dios?
Yes, es correcto.
Yes, that is correct.
All right, you can put your hand down, sir.
Gracias, puede bajar la mano.
Sir, can you tell me how you know the defendant in this case?
Señor, por favor, dígame, ¿de qué conoce usted a la acusada?
Ella es mi hija.
She is my daughter.
Okay. And do you want to have contact with your daughter while this case is pending?
¿Usted desea tener contacto con su hija mientras este caso está abierto?
Yo pienso que no, es posible que no, porque ella, lo que pasa es que ella es bipolar y esquizofrénica.
No, I think I'd rather not. You see, she's bipolar and schizophrenic.
Ella es deshabilitada mental.
She is disabled because of her mental health.
All right.
Y ella tiene, desde marzo, ella no se está tomando los medicamentos que le manda el doctor psiquiatra.
And since March, she has not been taking the medication that the psychiatrist sends her.
Does she see a psychiatrist or psychologist on a regular basis?
¿Ella ve a un psiquiatra o a un psicólogo de manera regular?
Lo veía antes, ahora ella se niega rotundamente que no va a volver donde los doctores psiquiatras y ella tiene que tomarse los medicamentos porque si no se los toma cae en crisis y se pone violenta y le pega a la mamá y me golpea a mí.
Well, she used to, but now as she refuses, she said she will not go back to see any doctors and she has to take her medicines. If she doesn't, she turns aggressive and she hits her mother and she hits me.
Ma'am, you can't talk while the interpreter's talking because, like, there's a lady downtown typing up what we're saying, and she can't listen to both of us speak, okay? So you gotta let everybody talk. You'll have your moment in the sun in a minute. Just let me finish talking to your dad.
Señora, no puede hablar a la vez que está hablando el intérprete. Hay una persona en el centro de la ciudad que está escribiendo todo lo que aquí se dice y ella no puede anotar si hay más de una persona hablando a la vez. Por favor, espere. Ya mismo le entregaré a usted la palabra. Por favor, espere que terminemos de conversar con su padre.
Did alcohol or drugs play a part in this case?
Señora, en este caso, ¿el alcohol o las drogas tuvieron algo que ver?
Sí, ella viene descontrolada hace 6 meses y hasta hace como 8 o 10 días nos dimos de cuenta de que ella está consumiendo cocaína y ella llegó, el día 4 del mes 8, se la llevó la ambulancia de emergencia para Hospital Ley Nona, y la tuvieron allá por un dolor en el pecho. Ella llevaba una sobredosis de droga. Y el reporte dice que ella está consumiendo cocaína y algunas otras sustancias prohibidas.
Yes, she has been out of control for the last 6 months, and 8 or 10 days ago, we noticed that she's consuming cocaine. On the 4th of August, she had to be taken by ambulance to the hospital at Lake Nona as an emergency. She was having chest pains, and the hospital report said that she had been using cocaine and other regulated substances.
State, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
La fiscalía tiene que hacerle alguna pregunta al testigo, no su señoría.
Ms. George?
No, Your Honor.
Licenciada, no su señoría.
Ms. Davis, I don't remember seeing battery on a person 65 years older disqualify her from mental health pretrial release, correct?
Señora Davis, esto hace que ella no cumpla con los requisitos para el programa de salud mental.
I'm not too sure, but you can have her screened.
All right.
No estoy segura, pero usted podría solicitar que se le evalúe.
Your Honor, just for the record, in Orange County, she does have a 2012 misdemeanor non-arrest battery, the victim being her mother, and she has a 2018 misdemeanor bat DV, the victim being her father.
Su señoría, para que conste en actas, ella tiene una acusación previa del 2012, una falta. La víctima fue la madre, y otra en el 2018, una falta también por violencia doméstica. La víctima fue el padre.
Right. She also has an extensive history of Marchman and Baker Acts. Not uncommon for this to happen with people suffering from her mental health illnesses.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss,
Sí, ella también tiene historial, antecedentes de Baker Act. Esto es común en personas que tienen un cuadro como este de problemas de salud mental.
ma'am, I'm going to release you on mental health pretrial release in this case. Condition you have no contact with the victim in this case. Maintain a separate residence. If you don't qualify for mental health pretrial release in this case, we're going to set your bond in this case amount of $1,000. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You have no, no?
Not with her extensive Baker Act case.
Oh, not with the big package, I'm sorry. Sorry, $1,000, no PTR, apologize. No contact with the
Señora.
victim, maintain a separate residence. Oh, sorry, Madam Interpreter.
Señora, usted será puesta en libertad bajo el programa de salud mental de libertad
I don't
provisional.
understand Spanish. I'm unable to understand Spanish. I speak English. I was wondering if you could please translate the court hearing stipulations that you've been and reiterate them to me in English instead. I have a difficult time understanding and speaking thoroughly and in English.
In English or Spanish?
Spanish, I mean.
All right, the Spanish is for your dad, not for you.
I'm sorry.
Señora, usted será puesta en libertad bajo el programa de libertad provisional por salud mental. Como condición, se le prohíbe todo tipo de contacto con su padre, se le prohíbe la convivencia, y si no cumpliese con los requisitos para el programa de libertad provisional por salud mental,
Wait.
se fija fianza por la cantidad de $1,000. Se le prohíbe el contacto con la víctima y se le prohíbe la convivencia. Su señoría, por favor, yo no entiendo español. Si pudiesen, por favor, traducir todo esto al inglés y entregármelo por escrito. Señora, el intérprete es para su padre.
I want to go over it with you in a second. Just let me let an interpreter go, so then we can speak, we can talk. All right, ma'am. Also to maintain a separate residence from the victims in this case. You are to not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Be subject to random drug testing in that case. In this case.
Excuse me.
Se le-
Yo
se le-
¿Yo puedo agregar algo? ¿Agregar algo?
Sir, wait.
Yes.
Wait.
Okay.
Everybody wait.
Se le prohíbe la convivencia con la víctima, se le prohíbe la tenencia de todo tipo de armas y armas de fuego. De tener usted un arma de fuego, tendrá que entregarla a las autoridades en un plazo de 24 horas luego de ser puesta en libertad. Se le prohíbe la tenencia y el consumo de drogas y alcohol, y usted estará sujeta a pruebas aleatorias de drogas y alcohol. This is the victim speaking. Your Honor, may I add something?
Go ahead.
Sí, señor.
Yo puedo hablar un momentico.
May I say something?
Sure.
Sí, claro que sí.
Nosotros como padres, la mamá y yo pedimos de que la envíe el señor juez, nos colabore, la ponga en un hospital mental hasta que la restablezcan, y después de que la restablezcan la manden como a un programa de rehabilitación de drogas, alcohol y cigarrillo. Yo traje el reporte del hospital de consumo de drogas, yo lo tengo conmigo. Si el juez me lo permite que lo vea.
Your Honor, we as parents, we request that you send her to a mental health hospital until she gets better. And once she gets better, she should be sent to a rehab facilitation for drug, alcohol, and cigarette use. I brought here the hospital report where it states that she's taking drugs. If you want to see it, I have it here.
Sir, I don't have the power to do what you're asking me to do. All I can do is what I just did. So I want to have a conversation with your daughter for a moment. So I don't need your input at this moment. Or you understand all her conditions of release. You're being informed. So I'm going to speak to her for a moment so we can get this taken care of, okay?
Señor, en estos momentos yo no puedo hacer lo que usted me está pidiendo, solamente puedo hacer lo que ya hice. Ahora tengo que hablar con su hija para que ella me dé su parecer, y ya se dieron o se hablaron de las condiciones de la puesta en libertad. ¿Usted las ha entendido?
Y que no puede estar cerca de nosotros porque ella es muy violenta. Ella puede vivir con nosotros cuando ella esté restablecida y ella asista a los programas y se tome los medicamentos y vaya a los doctores. Ella puede vivir con nosotros en el futuro, pero no ahora.
Yes, that she cannot be near us because she's too aggressive, and she could live with us in the future. This is after she is rehabilitated and she's seeing her doctors and taking her medications.
Okay. All right. So let me explain to her what's going on. Ma'am, did you read the no contact order before you started asking me questions about it?
Did I read the contact order?
The no contact order,
Yes,
did you
I
read
did
it?
read it.
All right.
I did
Well,
read
did
it.
you have any questions about the stipulations that are on it?
I don't have any questions regarding the stipulations and questions on it.
All right.
What I do have to add is that I unfortunately was not given, because I was unable to understand the translation in Spanish that the court-appointed judge during the session had reiterated to me. I was kind of distracted at the time, and I attempted to sign the no contact order. But I wasn't given a chance to because it was removed from my hand
Okay.
before I even had a chance to.
Do you have
sign the
any
no
questions
contact.
now?
No, I don't.
All right. Do you have any questions about any of my other orders that I've put in place?
About being released
Yes, about your release conditions.
today. Yes,
Yeah.
I am aware of that.
All right. Want to appoint the public defender to represent you in your case, so you have an attorney. You have a great day, ma'am.
Thanks.
Your Honor, may I have her case number, please?
2021 CF 9605AL.
Yes.
All right, everybody, thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Gracias, señor. Que tenga buen día.
Gracias por la interpretación.
All right,
Thank
now-
you. Thanks for the interpretation.
Yeah, I apologize, Madam Interpreter. I'm trying to keep it in order for you.
And I appreciate it. Thank you.
We can switch it over. This is Spanish still? Does he need the interpreter as well?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And then we can switch it over the headsets if we could. See if we can make a connection.
Hello?
Sir, do you need an interpreter?
No.
Okay. All right.
There is contact, Your Honor.
All right. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Emma Ramirez Crespo.
Emma Ramirez Crespo.
Ma'am, you are here this morning in case 2021 MM5700AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Gabriel Hubbard, Hubbard.
All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you put your hand down. Can you tell me how you know Ms. Ramirez?
She's my wife.
And you guys are legally married?
Yes, sir.
And do you want to have contact with her while this case is pending?
Yes, sir.
Has there been previous instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
What was that, sir?
Has there been previous instances of domestic violence between you and your wife in the past?
No, sir.
Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this particular instance?
No, sir.
Say, you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. George? Ms. Ramirez, in this case, is going to set your bond in an amount of $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You to have no hostile contact with your husband. No hostile contact means this. You're allowed to be upset with him. You can be upset he left the toilet seat up, made a mess he didn't want to clean up, left a shirt right outside the dirty clothes hamper instead of putting it inside. All kinds of things that cause conflict in a marriage. However, those disagreements cannot turn threatening. They cannot turn violent. There can be no abusive language used, because no matter if your husband calls law enforcement or somebody that sees or hears you all arguing calls law enforcement, you will be arrested. You're spending the remainder of your time here in this case on a no bond status at the Orange County Jail. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. Do you have any questions about my orders?
No, no pregunta.
All right.
No questions.
Have a great day, ma'am. All right. Thank you, Madam Interpreter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who do you have next, Your Honor?
I have, was it Charlotte?
Mental health, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to appoint a public defender in her two add-on cases, 2021 MM 5676 and 2021 CF 9559 AO.
I'll waive the appearance room.
All right, in 2021 MM 5676 AO, I'm going to serve bond at an amount of $250. And 2021 CF 9559 AO, serve bond at an amount of $1,000. Yeah.
Mental health.
Mental health, I'm sorry. Couldn't hear. Sorry, Sunshine. Couldn't hear you.
James Davis, he refused court.
All right. It's 2021 MO 939 AO. Mr. Davis, we tried to get him here yesterday. It looks that way.
I'll waive the appearance room.
All right. There was a public defender appointed yesterday? I couldn't tell. Let me see. Yeah, Mr. Davis. Yeah. Yeah, public defender was appointed yesterday. Yeah, to stay the bond. Sorry.
250.
Damn.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Marvin Noel.
Mr. Noel, you're here in two matters. The first one being 2021 MO 937 AO on charge of open container. You're also here in 2021 CF 9188 AO on charge of aggravated assault, domestic violence. The judge in that case signed a warrant, if I remember correctly. Check. Yep, so Judge signing a warrant in case already found probable cause for your arrest. If you want to resolve your open container case, you can do that today. The offer from the city is a withhold adjudication of guilt and court costs. Do you want to do that? Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, it was my beard.
All right. Sir, you're here in case 2021 MO 937AO. We're charged of open container. That's a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that? Can't hear you.
Yes, so I have an option to pay the fine
Well-
60 days?
No. Those are the maximum penalties.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
All right. So the maximum penalties for a second-degree misdemeanor in the state of Florida is 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
Yeah, thank you for the clarity.
All right. Your offer in this case is a withhold adjudication of guilt, credit for the times you spent in the Orange County Jail. There is court costs in the amount of $223. Do you understand that? You want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve this case?
No contest.
You understand by entering a plea of no contest?
We take it back. Guilty because it was my beard.
Okay. You understand by entering a plea of guilty that you don't waive the right to have a trial in this case? You waive the right to have an attorney in this case? You're also going to waive the right to challenge the state's evidence in this case. You understand that? Gather your answer, yes, sir. All right. You understand you're going to be waiving your right to call any witnesses in this case?
I understand that.
All right. You understand you waive your right to remain silent?
I understand that.
You understand you waive your right to appeal any errors in this case, except the court's jurisdiction over you and the sentence I'm going to impose?
I understand that.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, medication?
No.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
Yes.
What was that mental health illness?
Anxiety and depression.
Are you suffering from any of the symptoms of your anxiety or depression right now?
No.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you into this plea?
No.
Do you understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation?
I understand.
I did have an opportunity to review your charging affidavit. I did find a factual basis contained therein. I'll accept your plea of guilty in this case. Finds your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'm going to withhold adjudication of guilt, give you credit for the 3 days. 3 days that you spent in Orange County Jail with 3 days credit time served. Court costs in this case are $223. I'll give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, in your other case, 2021 CF 9188AO, want to set your bond in that case amount of $1,500. Condition your bond that you had no contact with the victim in that case. No return, must maintain a separate residence from the victim. Give you a one-time return to any shared residence you have with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in that matter. You ever good, sir? Yes, sir.
Who's the victim?
I'm not sure. Only thing I have is an affidavit.
When did this happen?
It says on August 2nd of this year in Orange County.
Impossible. I got
It's
bigger.
a savings Oculus, his brother-in-law.
Maybe your brother-in-law.
Yeah, he assaulted me. I got stable.
Don't talk about the.
Don't talk about the facts of your case. You got an attorney to represent. It was a warrant for your arrest. That's the only thing I have is that a judge found probable cause based on the information they received. So no contact with your brother-in-law. You got to maintain separate residence from him, okay? You can't have any weapons, any firearms.
I got a post bond to get released for this case.
Yes, sir.
Try.
All right. Have a great day, sir.
William Stroller is medical yarn.
All right, it's 2021 MM533AW. Mr. Stroller, I think the public defender is appointed yesterday to represent him.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, we're gonna set his bond at $250, put a pretrial release, no contact with the victim, maintain separate residence, one-time return with law enforcement. no weapons or firearms, must turn them over within 24 hours, no drugs or alcohol, subject to random drug and alcohol testing. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Nicholas Todd.
Mr. Todd, you're here in case 2021 CF 9567 AO on charges of possession of heroin and possession of fentanyl. State, did you have any supplemental information?
No, Your Honor, I was not able to obtain anything. Just
All
we
right.
would ask for an ROR.
So, Mr. Todd, the court not find probable cause for your arrest in this matter is going to release you on own recognizance. Doesn't mean that at some point they're not going to charge you with this case, so you may want to keep your address updated with the clerk. All right, have a great day, sir.
Anthony Wright, medical.
All right, it's 2021 CF 9563 AO. Mr. Wright, going to appoint the public defender to.
Waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Appoint the public defender to represent him. Going to set his bond on the charge of aggravated assault, dating violence, finding probable cause, an amount of $8,000. Condition of his bond: no contact with the victim, maintain separate residence, one-time return, no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms he has need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Frank Cotto.
Mr. Cotto, you're here in case 2021 CF 9614 AO on charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence, battery by strangulation, domestic violence, and battery domestic violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in count one, amount of $5,000, count two, $3,000, and count four, count one, count two, count three, count one, 5,000, count two, 3,000, count three, $500. Condition on your bond: no contact with the victim. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. Mr. Cotto, did you ever have an opportunity to take a batter's intervention course?
What?
A batter's intervention course. Have you ever had the opportunity to take one of those classes?
I don't know what it is.
Right. You may want to look into it. It may keep you from getting arrested all the time for this kind of similar charge. All right. Have a great day. This is the one you don't know. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Cars Hall.
Mr. Hall, you're here in case 2021 CF 9608 AO on charge of battery, domestic violence by strangulation. I did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case amount of $1,500. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You're to have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You have any questions about the no contact order, sir?
No.
All right, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day.
With mental health.
This case 2021 CF 9593 AO and 2021 CF 9592 AO. Ms. Lushman, I'm going to appoint the public defender, Lushman Prasad. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent her in both cases.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Let's set her bond in count one in amount. There's, hello. You can come in. Let him in. If it's him. Is he the victim for this case? No? All right. All right, in 2021 CF 9593, going to set bond in amount of $1,500. Conditions going to be the same in both cases. In 2021 CF 9592, going to set bond amount of $1,500. No contact with the victim. Maintain a separate residence from the victim. One-time return with law enforcement. No weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms she has needs to be returned with law enforcement within 24 hours of her release. No drugs or alcohol while a valid prescription. All right. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Angela Moon.
Ms. Moon, you're here in case 2021 CF 9589AO on charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $2,000. Conditioning your bond that you had no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have any questions about your no contact order, ma'am?
I do have a question.
About the no contact order.
Oh, I understand that,
All
yes,
right.
sir.
If you have another question, I just appointed Ms. George to represent you, so you can ask her that question because everything you tell me is on the record.
She does reside in Virginia. Is it okay for her to go back to Virginia?
Yeah, she's not on pretrial release, so there's no restriction as long as you keep in contact with your attorney and return when the court orders you to. There should be no problems. Now, if you fail to appear while you're in Virginia, it's going to be a little long of a ride for you to get back here.
Sir.
So don't miss any court dates. You can go to Virginia, but if the court orders you to be back here, you need to appear. Because if you don't appear, the judge is going to issue a warrant for your arrest. And unlike a lot of states, Florida extradites from all over the world. So they're going to come pick you up in Virginia and put you on a bus and send you back to Florida. All right?
Yes, sir.
Have a great day. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Brandon J. Potter.
Mr. Potter, you're here in case 2021 CF 9627AO on charge of battery, domestic violence by strangulation, battery, domestic violence, and criminal mischief. I did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in count 1, amount of $3,000, count 2, $500, and count 3, $100. Condition of your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm also going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Do you have any questions about your no contact order, sir?
No, sir.
All right. You have a great day, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Roy Brown.
Mr. Brown, you're here in case 2021 MM5694AO on charge of battery dating violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond amount of $1,500, conditioning your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to make sure you're maintaining a separate residence from this victim. If you have a shared residence or anything at her residence, I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Mr. Brown says you make $800 a week.
Yeah, that's, after my taxes, that's what I usually bring home.
$3,200 a month. Yeah, he's gonna be over. All right, sir, you're not gonna qualify for the services of the public defender. You're gonna have to hire your own attorney. You can decide to represent yourself. You have a great day, sir. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name? Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 5699 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Does anybody know if this case, oh, sorry, here we go. All right, sir, I'm going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $2,000, conditional your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Mr. Gores, I'm not sure if you had an opportunity during these other cases to take a batteries intervention course, but you may want to sign up for one. It may stop you from getting arrested and spend a lot of time here with me on a regular basis, all right? Have a great day, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Andrea Henderson.
Ms. Henderson, you're here in case 2021 MM 5695 AO on charges of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $2,000. It's going to come with pretrial release, $2,000. No contact with the victim, maintain a separate residence. I'll give you a one-time return to the residence, retrieve any personal items you have at that location, may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And I want to appoint the public defender to represent you, appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Also, no drugs, no alcohol. Without a valid prescription, you'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing. You're on probation in, this is Orange County case, 2014 CF 8306. Court find probable cause to commit a new law offense. Going to find on-view violation of your probation. Going to set your bond in that case at $0. I'm also going to appoint the public defender to represent you in that matter. You have a great day, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Good morning, sir. My name is Jude Orlean, sir.
Mr. Orlean, you're here in case 2021 MM 5691 AO on charge of battery dating violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case. It did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $1,500. Condition of your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. Do you have any questions about your no contact order, sir?
No, sir. So there's no contact. How do I get my bond? You say it's a.
Can't hear you.
How do I go about getting my belongings once I get out?
I said I'd give you a one-time return with law enforcement. So you got to call, you got one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve your personal items, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, have a great day.
You too.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Yes, my name is Ronald Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodriguez, you're here in case 2021 MM 5690 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Erin Van Nostrand, VANNORSTRAND.
Strand.
All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You can put your hand down. Can you tell me how you know Mr. Rodriguez, ma'am?
We're married.
Hear you?
Married?
All right. And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
I don't need contact, but he's the primary caregiver while I work full-time.
Okay.
And he's the one that takes care of my 3 girls, and they're really having a hard time without him.
All right.
So limited contact, I guess.
Well, all right. So where, if needed, would you be able to stay at the hotel while he stays at home with the kids?
I would, I mean,
Or stay at a friend's house or somewhere else while he's at home with the kids?
I don't really have anywhere, no.
All right. That you don't have anywhere to go, or does he not have anywhere to go?
He has somewhere to go, I don't have anywhere to go.
All right. So
I don't know what options are, but I'm fine with switching off so I can go to work. And
yeah, that's all trying to figure out a schedule, but I may not be able to do that today. All right. All right. Well, let me ask these other questions. Ma'am, has there been previous instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
A long time ago there has.
How long ago?
Over 10, 15 years, something like that.
Did drugs and alcohol play a role in this incident?
No.
All right. Are you afraid of Mr. Rodriguez?
No. I mean, no. He has a temper, but he's a good dad and he's a good person.
But we're not here to judge whether he's
No, I'm not.
good or bad or
No.
All right. State, you got any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. George?
No, Your Honor.
Does anybody have any input from the state?
Your Honor, I understand the victim's testimony regarding trying to keep the children involved. However, given some of her answers and the hesitation in her answers, state would ask for no contact at this point, with the understanding that Judge Shoemaker may change it at a later time.
All right, so ma'am, Judge Shoemaker is the division judge in charge of this case. He probably has more ideas and tools of how you guys can set up a schedule. You may want to think about that going into any bond modification hearing. But at this time, we're going to set his bond in the amount of $250. Going to order you subject to pretrial release supervision, that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You must maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. Going to, like I said, get in front of Judge Wayne Shoemaker as soon as possible. And maybe you guys have a set up schedule that he feels comfortable that's going to keep everything.
Can we use third party, like have my
Yep.
oldest daughter text? Okay.
Yep, exactly. I mean, that's the thought that he may have, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think you have all that worked out in your mind because it just happened yesterday or the day before. So you have a little more time to figure everything out and get a plan in place. All right?
Okay.
All right, have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Zane Shaw.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM5701 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in your case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Tuba Shah,
Can you spell your last name?
SHAH.
All right. Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Sorry?
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Yeah.
Yep. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Can you tell me how you know Mr. Shaw?
He's my husband.
All right. And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
No.
Yeah. Did drugs and alcohol play a role in this particular instance?
I'm sorry?
Did drugs and alcohol play a role in this instance?
No.
All right, State, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. George?
No, Your Honor.
In this case, I'm going to set your bond in amount of $500. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You will not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You also may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol while you're out on release. Be subject to random drug and alcohol testing. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you while you're out in this case. You have a great day, sir.
You have anything on?
I had Hoagland. Bonded, all right. So we have one more case, Thorpe, but we don't seem to have an interpreter available, so. He's gonna be mental health, anyway. Is he even available? All right. All right, this is case 2021 MM 5370 AO. Mr. Thorpe, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent him.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, did review his charging affidavit, did find the probable cause for the offense of battery. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Kelly Rapp, Kellyrapp.
And ma'am, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Yes, sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can put your hand down. All right, can you tell me how you know Mr. Thorpe?
Mr. Thorpe is my husband.
All right, and do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Yes, sir.
All right. Has there been previous instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
No, sir. I suffer.
Did drugs and alcohol play a role in this particular instance?
No, sir.
All right. And Mr. Thorpe is in mental health. Does he see a psychologist or psychiatrist on a regular basis?
He does go to a therapist. I have severe PTSD from things that happened prior to my marriage to him. And it was a mistake that the paperwork even got filed.
He's going to put the headset on.
There is contact, Your Honor.
And I'm sorry, Madam Interpreter, did you say you were sworn this morning?
Yes, I have already been sworn.
Thank you. All right, sir, please tell me your name.
Fernando Reyes Fidel.
Fernando Reyes Rivera.
21 CT 745 and 746. You're here charged with DUI, .15 or higher with a person under 18 in the vehicle, and no valid driver's license. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you in this case, actually both cases. There is probable cause. Your bond will be $2,000 on the DUI, and I'll treat the other as a subsidiary. Your bond will be $100. You can't possess or consume any controlled substance while out on bond. You also can't possess or consume any alcoholic beverage. Do you understand that?
Sí.
Yes.
You can't drive without a valid Florida license. Good luck, sir.
Okay, gracias.
Okay, thank you.
Is that it for Spanish?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Please tell me your name.
My name is Rochelle Gordon.
Good morning. In 21 MO 945, you're here charged with open container of an alcoholic beverage. In 21 MM 5693, you're charged with possession of drug paraphernalia and cannabis. Ms. George, was there an offer in these two cases?
There was for the alcoholic beverage, there was a withhold credit time served, and I believe for the possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of cannabis, the state was going to announce a no
What is it?
No information, that's correct, Your Honor.
All right, did you have a chance to speak with Mr. Gordon about this?
I did, Your Honor. I believe his issue was the amount that he would have to pay.
For court costs?
Yes, Your Honor, given that he's on disability and not in transient, Your Honor. I would just ask that if he accepts the offer, we reduce that to a lien.
All right, Mr. Gordon, raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, sir. Are you interested in entering a plea of guilty or no contest to the possession of alcoholic beverage?
No contest.
All right, and you had a chance to speak to an attorney about the rights that you'd be giving up if you entered a plea this morning on that charge. Do you have any questions for me about those rights?
No.
You understand them?
Yes.
You understand if you're on probation anywhere, this plea can violate that.
Yes.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, you can be deported.
Yes, I understand that.
All right, at this time, how do you wish to plead an open container of an alcoholic beverage?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll withhold adjudication, give you credit for the time that you've been in jail. I understand that you're concerned about the court costs, sir. I don't have a choice. I have to impose them. But what I'm going to do is reduce it to a lien.
Yes.
All right. Good luck, sir. I believe the state has an announcement to make.
State has an announcement as to 21 MM 5693. State announces a no information as to the drug paraphernalia and cannabis, both in ones.
All right, good luck. You have 30 days to appeal in writing. Thank you, sir.
Teixeira, Bonner, Jonathan Williams, refused.
All right, that's 21 MM 537. I'll find his refusal a willing waiver of his appearance today. Ms. George, I'll appoint your office. There is probable cause. I'll stay the bond at 1,000 on count 1, but I'll change count 2 to be 100. That's it.
Hello. My name is Bridget Garrett.
Good morning. 21 MO 946. You're here charged with possession of and consumption of alcohol in a place where prohibited. Was there an offer in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. I've been authorized on the city's behalf to offer withhold credit time served.
And I did speak with Ms. Garrett. We went over all the rights she would be giving up. She understands those rights and would like to accept the state's offer here today.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You heard the state's offer. Are you interested in accepting that today?
Yes, ma'am.
You had a chance to discuss with an attorney the rights that you'd be giving up if you entered a plea. Do you have any questions for me about those rights?
No.
Do you understand them?
Yes.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, you can be deported.
Yes.
If you're on probation anywhere, this plea can violate that probation. All right, at this time, how do you wish to plead to the charge of possession and consumption of an alcoholic beverage where prohibited?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll withhold adjudication, give you credit for the 2 days you've been in custody. I'll order you to pay court costs, and I'll give you a year to pay that. Good luck, ma'am.
Oh, wait a second. On a $1.87 open can beer, you're charging me court costs, and I'm the one that was arrested over a mindfuck thing that was happening outside over a bag of chips.
I'm not charging you court costs. It's statutory, and I don't have the authority to waive that. But yes, everyone who gets arrested and then enters a plea of guilty or no contest has to pay court costs in the state of Florida.
Okay, with my circumstances with the Lord, it's very hard for me to even make $1 outside this building. And because I have been sent to HECF, however he tells me, I have a lot of problems. And if I could afford to pay, I'd be more than glad to pay everyone so I could be happy.
Your Honor, given
But
that, okay, give me a second. Given that Ms. Garrett is transient, I would just ask that you reduce that to a lien.
Hold on.
If you look on the second sheet, it states that she's transient.
I'm not going to do that at this time, but you have a year to pay it, ma'am. Good luck. Please tell me your name.
Hayes.
Good morning, sir. You're here charged with panhandling in 21 MO 947.
And Your Honor, there was an offer from the state of a withhold of adjudication, credit time served, and I did speak to Mr. Hayes. We went over the rights he would be given up, and he would like to accept the state's offer.
There is probable cause. Sir, raise your right hand. I just want to make sure the record's clear. Raise your right hand.
Do you swear affirm that testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you heard what Ms. George said. Do you want to accept the state's offer here today?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand all the rights you're giving up if you do this?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me about those rights?
No, ma'am.
You understand if you're on probation anywhere, this plea can violate that? If you're on probation.
That's what she said. Are you on probation?
No, ma'am, I'm not on probation.
All right. And you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, you could be deported.
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, how do you wish to plead to the charge of panhandling?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll withhold adjudication, give you credit for the time that you've been in jail. I have to order that you pay court costs, and I'll give you a year to pay them. All right, good luck, sir. You have 30 days to appeal in writing. Tell me your name, please.
Glenn Stuart Montour.
21 MO 948, you're charged with camping where prohibited. Was there an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. The city's authorized me on their behalf to offer a withhold credit time served.
Was there an offer? No, there was not an offer. Just a meeting.
Do you have the city ordinance, counselor? Not the citation, but the actual words, the ordinance itself?
I do not, Your Honor.
Does laying on the sidewalk with a plastic cover qualify?
Your Honor, he does want to accept the state's offer of a withhold of adjudication credit time served. I briefly went over the rights he would be given up. He states that he understands those rights and would like to accept the state's offer here today.
Your Honor, I did pull the ordinance that says camping is defined as sleeping or otherwise being in a temporary shelter out of doors or sleeping out of doors or cooking over an open flame or fire out of doors. So arguably in this one, I guess it would be sleeping out of doors without consent of the property owner.
It says I woke him up, and it says it's sleeping outdoors.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Sir, raise your right hand.
Do you swear affirm that testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Sir, you had a chance to discuss with an attorney the rights you'd be giving up if you enter a plea of guilty or no contest today. Do you understand those rights? Do you have any questions for me about those rights?
No.
You understand if you're on probation anywhere, this plea can violate that?
Yes.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, you can be deported?
Yes.
At this time, how do you wish to plead a camping where prohibited?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll withhold adjudication, give you credit for the time that you've been in custody. Yes. I have to order that you pay court costs. I'm going to reduce that to a lien. Good luck, sir.
Be honest, refuse.
All right, that's 21MO 949. I'll find his refusal of willing waiver as appearance today. I'll appoint your office, Ms. George. There is probable cause. His bond is $250, no contact with the victim or any witness, no return to the scene.
Third stop is mental health.
21MO 950. Ms. George, I'm going to appoint your office.
Is he not gonna be? Tomorrow? Can we reset him for tomorrow, Your Honor? There is an offer. I know that he may be able to resolve the case. So he's transient, so I just ask that we reset him for tomorrow.
Yes. All right, sir, tell me your name.
Jake Charles.
In 21 CT 3963, a capias was issued for your arrest for failing to appear on a charge of driving while license suspended. The bond is $500. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. In 21 MM 536, you're charged with possession of cannabis. And 21 CT 1459, you're charged with driving while license suspended. There is probable cause in both of those cases. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you in each of those.
Your Honor, on the failure to appear, driving while license suspended, the state is offering a withhold of adjudication credit time served in order to resolve that case. They are on the possession of cannabis, 2021 MM 536 AO, they were gonna announce a no information. And then, Mr. Charles was gonna resolve the failure to appear driving while license suspended. He is currently working to get his driver's license. He's taking classes. So I would just ask that you take no action on the out on bond and say the bond and the driving while license suspended or revoked.
I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. So, Mr. Charles, you can enter a plea today to the one driving while license suspended, but I don't know at this time if I'm going to revoke your bond on the other one. Do you understand that?
Can you say that again?
Yes, even if you enter a plea to the one driving while license suspended charge, I might still revoke your bond. You're out on bond for driving while license suspended. You were arrested for committing new law violations. You can't do that. So at this time, I'm not going to tell you whether I'm going to revoke that bond. Do you understand?
Got you.
Do you still want to enter a plea to the other driving charge?
Plea? Yes.
And you understand that driving while license suspended is what we call an enhanceable offense.
Yes.
What that means is after a certain number of them, the state can file it as a felony. So it goes from being punished by up to 60 days in jail to up to a year in jail, and then the state can file it and it'll be punishable by up to 5 years in prison. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't know your driving record or anything about your history, but if you enter a plea to this one, this could count as one of those convictions. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm that testimony about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. Your attorney explained to you the rights that you'd be giving up if you enter a plea of guilty or no contest today. Do you have any questions for me about those rights?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I don't get how I wasn't the driver. Wait, no, I don't have no question.
So I'm talking about your right to remain silent, your right to testify on your own behalf, your right to a jury trial when one is required. We're not going to do any of those things today. So you're giving up your right to remain silent about that charge. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You understand if you're on probation, this plea can violate it.
My probation?
If you're on probation,
No.
this plea could violate that probation. I don't know if you are. And if you're not a US citizen, you can be deported. You understand? You have to answer out loud.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've talked to him about the state's diversion programs, and he wants to enter a plea to this charge anyway.
Your Honor, I believe they're actually working with him to get his driver's license on the out on bond case. And that's why he's taking classes. I'm not sure if this would kick him out or keep him in. However, Your Honor, the issue is that the out on bond case, we were trying to prevent that from being revoked at this time so he can continue to work on getting his driver's license.
I understand that, but he's entering a plea to the same charge.
Yes, Your Honor. I
So,
would point to the fact that other than that, he has no other criminal history.
right, I'm just saying, he understands, I mean, the state attorney has diversion programs for everything now, so I just want to make sure he understands this is now a criminal conviction.
He understands, Your Honor. He wants to resolve it.
All right, sir. At this time, how do you wish to plead to driving while license suspended?
Can you repeat that?
How do you wish to plead to driving while license suspended? You can plead guilty, no contest, or not guilty.
No contact.
I'll accept your plea. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. This is in 3963. I'll withhold adjudication, give you credit for the time you've spent in custody. I have to order that you pay court costs. I'll give you a year to pay those. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you have 30 days to appeal that in writing. At this time,
In regard to his out on bond, he picked that up June 1st, I believe. I'll leave it within your discretion whether you want to revoke or not. I just wanted you to know how close temporally they were.
and what is the state doing with the other two cases?
I looked at the Osceola one. He was not extended an offer at arraignment, but that's the only note I have from that ASA.
No, I'm talking about the two open cases that are pending today. Driving while license suspended and possession of cannabis.
Regarding the cannabis, state announces a no information. And I didn't know if he was willing to plead to the other Dwellis, but it would be an adjudication at that point.
Your Honor, given that he's trying to get his license, I don't want him to plead to that one. Again, he's actually working to get his license, so I don't want to put him in a position where he can't obtain it.
All right, then your bond on each of those charges is $500. You can't possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription. You can't drive without a valid license. At this time, I'll take no action on your out on bond case.
Your Honor, the possession of cannabis, she.
Oh, that's right, she no infoed. On the one charge, it's 500.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Sorry, just the one. Good luck, sir. You have 30 days to appeal in writing. Please tell me your name.
Rivera.
What's your name?
Rivera.
I don't know who that is. What's your full name?
Gian Rivera.
Got it. 21 CT 5716, you're here charged with driving while license suspended. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond is $500. You cannot drive without a valid Florida driver's license. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck, sir. Ms. George, that kid had no other criminal history.
Right.
Please tell me your name.
Jasper Alexis.
21 MO 952, you're here charged with possession and consumption of alcohol where prohibited. There is probable cause. In 21 CF 9610, you're here charged with possession of MDMA. There is also probable cause for that charge.
When is that one? Because, Miss, can I explain my case?
Okay, hold on, let me tell you what we're doing here today. I'm telling you if there's probable cause and what your bond will be.
Oh,
I need you to listen. I'm telling you if there's probable cause and what your bond will be.
I want to.
We're not having an evidentiary hearing here today. If you think you have some defenses to the case, you want to talk to your attorney and raise them later. Everything you're saying today is being recorded and could be used against you later. Do you understand that?
I understand, but I was false charges of a crime or something I didn't do. Because the girl that left with him, Bridget Garrett, that just left,
Yes.
we was together last night, and all I bought was a beer. Never, you know. And when the police came, he said he was taking me to jail for an open container. Never had drugs on me, and he told us that we was going to get, you know, for the same thing, nothing. And when I got here, never had paperwork, nothing, and I'm being accused of something, you know. And she's leaving, and I feel like I ain't been treated fair at all, miss. You know, I didn't have no drugs this time. All I did was bought a beer, and I was hanging with a friend named Bridget Garrett. I just saw her walking out, and I'm being charged for something I didn't have. It's like disappointing me.
So, sir, in the probable cause affidavit, it says, upon searching Alexis incident to arrest, a clear baggie with a white powder substance was located in his right front pant pocket. The powder substance weighed less than 1 gram and tested positive for MDMA.
Never had MDMA. All I had was some that I bought from the store called BC powder that they sell, and it was sealed in the package. Never been open. I never had.
So what will happen is that packet is being sent to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FDLE, and it'll be tested. So if it doesn't contain any MDMA, the state won't be able to prosecute you for that charge no matter what. But if it tests positive for that, then the state will have to decide if they're charging you.
So how long would I be seeing in here? You say 33 days?
No, there is probable cause for this arrest. I'm going to set your bond at $500 on count 1. Oh, there's only 1 count on yours. Oh, and then the other charges, I'll set it at 100 for the alcohol.
Oh,
You can't possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription.
I was getting that resolved today. That was time.
No, sir. I can't accept a plea on the felony this morning. So you have a bond on that you can post.
I'm talking about on the misdemeanor.
He's talking about the
The drinking.
city ordinance, Your Honor.
You can enter a plea to that,
Yes, can we resolve that?
but you cannot resolve the felony. And at this time, I show that he was released on his own recognizance for a possession of MDMA charge.
Yeah, I believe there was no information filed, Your Honor.
Can the state confirm?
And in the meantime, Your Honor, I did speak with Mr. Alexis. We went over the rights he would be given up for the possession of or consumption of alcohol. He understands those rights and would like to resolve the case today.
Please raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, sir, you were able to speak, you can put your hand down, with an attorney about the rights you'd be giving up if you enter a plea of guilty or no contest today. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me about them?
No questions.
You understand that if you're on probation anywhere, this plea can violate that.
Yes.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, you can be deported.
Yes.
At this time, how do you wish to plead to possession of an alcoholic
No contest.
beverage in a prohibited place? I'll accept your plea. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll withhold adjudication, give you credit for the 2 days you've been in custody. I have to order that you pay court costs, and I'll give you a year to pay that.
Thank you. Which one?
So that one is resolved.
And then you said.
Did you track down the other case? Ms. May?
According to the clerk's office, it's still open, Your Honor. There's not a no information filed.
21 CF 7940.
Yes, Your Honor. He was ROR'd on that on 8/9.
33-day motion was filed, no?
Well, there was a 33-day motion, but there was,
So I just got a bond out tonight, miss?
I don't know. I'm considering revoking your bond because while out on bond for an offense, you got arrested for the same offense. I show that he has 3 prior failures to appear.
This is a no, it's a no file case, miss. I got a job.
No,
it's an open.
the state didn't file an announcement of no information.
It's open. It was He was ROR due to a 33-day motion.
Yeah, but you didn't file on it.
Not yet.
So they haven't filed it yet, but they haven't dropped it yet.
Yes, okay.
He
Well, I
was
understand
just
now.
ROR'd
I just
on
wanted to-
8/9, Your Honor.
I'm trying to
so
get out of jail, miss.
Approximately
'Cause
7
I've
days
been
ago.
framed here. I'm trying to get out to my kids.
I understand, sir. I'm looking at your prior
Can I
history.
get a blessing, miss, please?
He has quite an extensive history,
I'm from Orlando, miss. It's nothing
but
crazy.
since,
Your Honor, given, I believe it was not filed on due to waiting on FDLE.
right,
That case came in with the MDMA and cannabis under 20. He was released 7 days ago from the BRC, and he already picked up another case with, again, MDMA. State would ask that you revoke.
Never had.
right, I'm not going to. Good luck, sir.
Miss, I never had no MDMA.
Sir, I already said I'm not taking any action on that. Good luck. Yes. Yes. Please tell me your name. 21 CF 9602. You're here charged with robbery with a firearm and grand theft. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you.
I wanted to know if I could get bond for the armed robbery, because I didn't have nothing to do with that. Because I know I got to fight for the grand theft too, because all the stuff that they
Don't
said-
talk about the facts.
Does the state wish to be heard on bond?
Yes, Your Honor, as to count 1, it is a live offense. State is asking that you hold her no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
So ma'am, because this charge is punishable by life in prison, at this time, you're not entitled to a bond on it. I'm not going to set one. Your attorneys are going to have to file a motion with the trial judge. Your bond on count 2 will be $2,500. You can have no contact with the victim and no contact with any of the co-defendants. Do you understand that? You can't possess a weapon, firearm, or ammunition. You can't return to the victim's residence for any reason.
So I still got to stay in jail, correct?
Yes.
Can you tell me how long?
No, that's between your attorney and the trial judge.
Wait, how can I find out my attorney? I go downstairs?
You call the number on that piece of paper.
Okay.
Good luck, ma'am.
And swab, bonded?
Bonded?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the PD?
Please tell me your name.
State your name.
Kia Gibson.
In 21 CT 5717, you're here charged with driving while license suspended. And in 21 CF 9621, you're charged with grand theft of a motor vehicle, petty theft, and resisting an officer without violence. I reviewed both of these probable cause affidavits. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you in both cases.
What,
Don't talk about that.
Your bond on the driving while license suspended is $500. On the grand theft is $2,500. Petty theft and resisting are $100 each.
I want to say something.
Sir, I need you to listen to what I'm telling you.
Yes, man.
You can have no contact with the victim or any witness in these cases. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, my honor. I just
All right.
want to ask the PD something. I came before you done this. I want to he tell you something, she tell you something, please.
Just a minute, sir.
Okay.
Your Honor, on his out on bond cases, he has been deemed incompetent to proceed. His most recent evaluation was January 14th of 2021 of this year. And the court still found that he was incompetent to proceed the evaluation. I mean, and it lists in the evaluation from 2018 all the way down, his incompetence, Your Honor.
What says the state?
I do see incompetence motions filed in the 18 battery, the 20 attempt burg, the 20 DeWillis, and the 20 oxycodone. However, I don't see any notice of filing of incompetence in the 21 CF 9841.
Your Honor, again, I would just actually take no action. He has incompetence going from 2018 all the way down.
Please, okay. Yes. My family.
He has extensive mental health issues.
The most recent evaluation was January?
From the one that I saw in the 2020, Your Honor, because of so many names, I was having a problem. If you could see the names up here, pulling up each and every one of the cases in our system.
I'm not inclined to do that. These are pretty dangerous crimes.
No, I
And
don't
what
think.
he's accused of in this case,
The cases are similar, and arguably the facts in this case show an understanding of asking her for money, and when she does not give it, taking the car, putting on her sweatshirt, and putting her phone in his pocket.
Your Honor, again, there's a doctor has determined he is not competent. In multiple cases, there's a case law has stated there's a presumption of incompetence once a client has been deemed incompetent. So I would just ask that you take that into consideration, and not revoke the out on bond cases.
However, an evaluation from January is arguably stale before court,
It's okay.
and all the cases are similar in nature.
I do agree.
it definitely shows a possible pattern of behavior.
Again, they evaluate him and said he does not meet the requirements for commitment, Your Honor.
So, but if I revoke all the out on bond cases, your office is just going to file motions in them, right? Do you represent him in all of them?
Again, I had trouble pulling each and every one of them up, but the ones that I saw, Your Honor, that's all that's going to happen. There's going to be a motion for ROR based on incompetence. That was, you've already filed.
All right, so I'm going to revoke all of those, and then your office can file those motions. All right, good luck, sir.
What happened? What
Your Honor, if we are not appointed,
I'll make sure that you are. Make sure they're appointed.
You are on the 20 CF 04.
Good luck, sir, you too. Please tell me your name.
State your name.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Untitled Henderson.
21 CF 9619, you're here charged with possession of cocaine with a weapon and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. There is probable cause in this case. Your bond is $15,000 on count 1, 100 on count 2.
Your Honor, I believe he otherwise qualifies for PTR. I don't know if you're willing to place him on it.
I would ask for pretrial release, Your Honor. If you look, it was point 1, he was cooperative with the cops. He has no criminal history. I'd ask for pretrial release in this case.
All right, I'll grant that. Sir, I'm going to place you on pretrial release with special conditions. You can have no contact with any known drug dealers. You can't possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription, and you can't possess a weapon, firearm, or ammunition. Do you have a question? I can't hear you at all.
I got my question.
So is it straight PTR, Your Honor?
Yes. All right, good luck. Tell me your name.
Richard John Lewis Hilliard.
21 CF 9616, you're here charged with aggravated assault. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond is $5,000. You can have no contact with the victim or any witness in this case. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. It was the victim.
You can't possess a weapon, firearm, or ammunition.
I was beat and I was a victim in this situation. I
Don't talk about the facts.
All right, sir, you're not allowed to have contact with Randolph Powell. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
All right. Then it'll be easy to not have contact with him. Good luck, sir.
Instead of my paperwork, my mom was $1,000.
I raised it. Please tell me your name. 21 CF 9609. You're here charged with burglary of an occupied dwelling and petty theft. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond is $5,000 on count 1, 100 on count 2. You can't return to this scene for any reason. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't possess a weapon, firearm, or ammunition. You cannot have any contact with any victim or witness in this case. Good luck. Can you ask them to tell me their names? And you have 2 violations of probation cases. And in 21 CF 9611, you're charged with grand theft and resisting an officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond will be $1,000 on count 1, $100 on count 2. You can have no contact with any victim or witness in the case. You can't return to target. And it looks like your violations of probation, I can't tell the case number, 21493. Oh, maybe it's just one.
I believe it's only one, Your Honor, and I believe it's in Osceola. I think it's 21 CF 493.
All right, that is the case number?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you have a violation of probation. You'll have to go back to Osceola County to deal with that. You have no bond on it, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Good luck.
Deontay Key.
Good morning, 21 CF 9603. You're here charged with robbery with a firearm and false imprisonment with a weapon. There is probable cause, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Does the state wish to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. Given that count 1 is a live offense, state is asking that you hold a no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
Ms. George?
No argument, reserved right to Arthur hearing.
All right. I will hold you at no bond on count 1. Your bond on count 2 will be $10,000. You cannot have any contact with a victim, any witness, or any co-defendant in this case. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't possess a weapon, firearm, or ammunition. You can't return to the scene for any reason. At this time, I'm revoking your out on bond case. Good luck, sir.
Kirsten Consul.
21 CF 9620. You're here charged with possession of fentanyl and drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond is $1,000 on count 1, $100 on count 2. You can't possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription or have contact with any known drug dealers. Good luck.
Willie Manning.
21 CF 9604, you're here charged with robbery with a firearm, possession of firearm or ammunition by a convicted felon, and possession of a weapon in commission of a felony. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Does the state wish to be heard on bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Given that count 1 is a live offense, state is asking that you hold him no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
Ms. George?
No argument, reserved right to Arthur hearing.
I will do that. At this time, you'll have no bond on count 1. Count 2 will be $4,000. Count 3 will be $1,000. You can't have contact with a victim, any witness, or any co-defendant in this case. Do you understand that? You can't possess a weapon, firearm, or ammunition, and you can't return to the scene for any reason. Good luck, sir.
No bond.
Not on count 1. Your attorney will have to file a motion.
Malik refused court.
21 CF 9618. There is probable cause. I'll find his refusal a willing waiver of his appearance today. I'll appoint an attorney to represent him. Bond is $1,000 on count 1, $100 on count 2. No co-defendant contact, drug dealer contact, not possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription. And I'm revoking his out on bond ROR, 21 CF 4204.
Eric Lucas is mental health journal.
21 CF 9615. Ms. George, I'm going to appoint your office.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
There is probable cause. Bond is $5,000 on count 1, $100 on count 2. No victim contact, no witness contact, no weapons, firearms, or ammunition, not returned to the scene for any reason. Do you have any mental health history on him, Ms. George?
He's actually scheduled for an evaluation, Your Honor. A mental health evaluation on September 9th.
All right.
I would just ask that because of that issue, and it looks like if you look on the second page, he's had multiple Baker Acts that instead of revoking and holding him at no bond, if you are inclined to revoke, you revoke and double the bond.
I'll do that. So it'll be 1,000 on that count.
My name is Luis Anthony Robles. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. In 21 CT 5718, you're here charged with driving while license suspended. There is probable cause, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond on that is $500. You can't drive without a valid Florida license. In 21 CF 9607, you're here charged with possession of cocaine and heroin. Again, I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. There is probable cause. Your bond is $1,000 on count 1, $150 on count 2. You can't possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription or have contact with any known drug dealers. At this time, I'm revoking all 3 of his out on bond cases. Do you represent him in all of them? Do you know, Ms. George?
I'm not sure. I would just ask that you appoint us in any cases we are not.
All right. Good luck, sir.
I believe, oh, never mind. Never mind, Your Honor.
Okay.
Robert Rosario.
21 CF 9606, you're here charged with robbery with a firearm, possession of a firearm in commission of a felony, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Ms. May?
Yes, Your Honor, given that count 1 is a live offense, state is asking that you hold him no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
Ms. George?
No argument reserved right to
I will do that at this time. On count 1, you have no bond. On count 2, your bond will be $2,000. On count 3, it'll be $4,000. You can have no contact with the victim, any witness, or any co-defendant in this case. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't possess a weapon, firearm, or ammunition. You cannot return to this scene for any reason. And I show that you're a registered sex offender or predator. You have to maintain your sex offender reporting requirements. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, good luck, sir. Please tell me your name. 21 CF 9623, you're here charged with introduction of contraband into a county facility, possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams. And in 21 CF 9622, you're charged with possession of MDMA and trafficking in MDMA. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you in both of these cases. On the introduction of contraband, your bond is $1,000. Count 2 of that case, it's $500. You can't possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription or have contact with any known drug dealers. Do you understand?
Yes.
And then in the other case, the trafficking charge, it's greater than 10 grams but less than 200. Your bond is $50,000 on count 1. I'll treat count 2 as a subsidiary and it'll be $150 with the same conditions. Do you understand that? I can't hear you. Get close to the microphone. You have the same conditions in this case. You can't possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription, and you can't have contact with any known drug dealers in both cases.
Your Honor, state would also ask for no contact with the other witnesses or co-defendants in the case.
I'll also order that you're not allowed to have contact with any witness or co-defendant in this case. Do you understand?
Is there any co-defendant?
Was he arrested as a co-defendant? I don't see that, but
I believe they're just witnesses, Ms. Watkins.
Just witnesses?
Mr. McKinney, yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, good luck, ma'am.
It is once.
21 CF 9601, you're here charged with grand theft of a motor vehicle and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. There is probable cause in this case. I'll stay the bond, 1,000 on count 1, 100 on count 2. You can't have contact with a victim or any witness in this case, or any co-defendant, Andre Bell. You can't return to the scene for any reason. You can't possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription. Good luck, sir.
Zachary Paul Thompson.
21 CF 9605, you're here charged with robbery with a firearm and possession of a weapon and commission of a felony. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Ms. May?
Your Honor, given that count 1 is a live offense, state is asking that you hold no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
Ms. George?
No argument, reserve the right to have Arthur hearing, Your Honor.
All right, at this time, you'll have no bond on count 1, and your bond on count 2 will be $2,500. Even while in custody, you can have no contact with the victim, any witness, or any of the co-defendants in this case. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. You can't return to the scene for any reason. And at this time, I'm revoking your bond in 21 CF 1230.
Osceola County?
Yes, it's a carjacking.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck, sir. You too. Anything else from anyone before court is adjourned?
Nothing from